October 16th, Monday, 2023. And I have never been in my life with my, I don't know if I should call it short, but it's just, I call it short because a lot of people have years long experience when they have start lifting, right? Or not start lifting, when they lift, right? And even like the people that I follow and I get influenced by, they go, oh, I've been lifting for 5 years, 10 years, 8 years, 3 years. And then here I am in October, after 10 grueling months of lifting, which, should I even call it 10 grueling months? Of some consistent months, some inconsistent months. But now here I am, starting from January 2023, now on October 16th, looking forward, like exceptionally looking forward to a leg day today, just because of the horizon of a new gym and new equipment, and just the idea that one of my go-to leg movements for the quads, I don't really know what the actual scientific name, the actual scientific, why did I say that? But you know, like how a lot of the muscles, like you can call it biceps, but like the actual full name is like the brachiolatus, biceptoralis, or like the quadrilateral. Again, I might just be making shit up right now, but you know what I mean though, like how some muscles have like, it's like, instead of the traps, well, I mean, we call it the traps because like the shortened version, but there it's like the trapezius rhomboideus, the ligamentus. Yeah, I didn't even realize I did a ligma joke without even intentionally trying. But I am actively looking forward to my leg day today just because of a new hack squat machine. The hack squat that I've been using for the past couple months, if I weren't doing barbell squats. Actually, now that I think, I remember I used to do barbell squats into hack squats. Those were some wacky times. Those were some wacky times indeed. And by wacky times, it's quite literally like, what is that? Like 3, maybe 4 months ago that I was still doing that. But I like to think of myself as a little bit more of an enlightened lifter now, where I have a little bit of a better routine, a little bit more optimized, a little bit more efficient, a little bit more catered to my own personal needs and stimulus that I require currently. And you might be thinking, Andy, please talk about the goddamn hack squat machine that you've been trying to avoid the question for the past 2 minutes and 30 seconds while this car in front of me is going 7 under the speed limit right now. You know what? I shouldn't be mad. I shouldn't be mad. It's better to be safe while you're driving in the rain, and always remember that no matter what you are, where you are, if you're driving in hazardous conditions, always be extra careful. Even if you're not driving in hazardous conditions, you should always be keen to your surroundings and practice cautionary driving. Or what's the thing that they called? I think they call it defensive driving. Because again, we are driving several thousand pounds that go very, very fast, if you ask me. And if another several thousand pound vehicle going very, very fast hits you, it's not going to be a pleasant experience if I say it from personal experience. And even for the personal experience, I never had anything too bad. I just had a couple fender benders, a couple times people rear-ending me, but again, I've been very blessed to not have a serious car collision incident under my belt, because that is a very frightening and jarring and physically threatening thing to happen to you. But I know I'm on to make the funniest transition from the grimness and morbid reality of driving vehicles and the cause of accidents right into the green machines, the green gym's hack squat machine has this little safety feature at the bottom where like you put like a little stopper at the end and you can't take it off. And again, I know that's there so that you don't literally crush yourself under the weight, but did I just spit again? I've noticed like I talk a lot and I spit a lot, which is kind of embarrassing, and I think I need to work on that. And I think it's even worse today because I have gum in my mouth, which I don't know why. I saw gum, like a fresh pack of gum on the counter, and I was like, don't mind if I treat myself to this. And then I started chewing it, even though I know I'm going to be talking in the car ride. So maybe I am just a fool, an insolent fool in a car talking his worries away. As I, again, dodged the hack squat machine question. But again, let me get back to it. It has a little stopper at the bottom that you can adjust how low you want it to go so that, you can change your range of motion and now your depth. But even at the most lowest option, I didn't necessarily have a problem with it, but I always felt like I could go deeper and that it would feel nicer. And I'm about to put that to the test today. Oh my God, there's a dog right next to me. Whoa. It's just a dog in the passenger seat. What a wonderful sight. That guy just ran a red light in front of me also because my light turned green and the guy was very much in the process of turning, not at the end of his turn. I've been seeing a lot of wacky driving recently, and I don't know if it's much because I'm just more aware of it because I'm filming myself while driving, or if I am just seeing the downfall of driving near me. But again, I always felt like I could get deeper into the squat. And the thing is, I am a personal advocate of, I like doing deep squats because it just feels natural to me. Like, I don't know, that's not the case for everybody. I'm not advocating that everybody has to go do the deepest squat in their life and go injure themselves. But I personally like the feeling of it. And I also like, you know, when like you can like, there's like this entire notion where it's like, I don't know if it's like an actual phenomenon, but it's like, the idea that like Asian people can flat foot squat without having to like be on their toes where like other races can't. Because I remember seeing like videos on that for a little bit, and I don't actually know what the scientific reasoning behind it is, but I found it to be interesting. So I remember after I watched those videos a couple years ago, I was like, oh, can I do that? So I did the flat foot squat and just sat down, and it did feel comfortable for me. And why am I talking about the flat foot squat and deep squat? It's because the hack squat at the Silver Gym does not have a stopper at the bottom, so I can get as low as I want to at the bottom. But now I'm also a little bit concerned where I go, oh, does that mean if I fail a rep, I'm just doomed? I'm just stuck there forever? We're gonna find out today if I injure myself or if I find the best new quad exercise for me. And that's another thing too. It's like, I am never ever gonna preach, because here's what I have a little bit of trouble with recently, where like, I have some of my friends that ask me for like, you know, the people that haven't, you know, gone to the gym that much, they ask me, hey, what should I do for this? What should I do for that? And I'm always a little bit conflicted. And technically I had to pay the price for it recently because on my most recent back day, I'm with a couple of friends that haven't lifted in a while. So I just thought, oh, if they just follow my routine, it should work out for them. But then I realized everybody has a different, you know, starting point. For example, if you've lifted before and then you take a long break and you get back into it, you can probably be able to ease back into it even just after like a week of maybe not a week, maybe like a week and a half, 2 weeks of like consistent lifting. You're probably back to your normal, not strength, but at least to your normal level of endurance or, you know, form or recovery, all those things, right? But I started this journey with absolutely zero lifting experience because I never lifted in my life before. Like, yeah, I had a gym membership when I was younger, but I would go in, just do cardio and maybe do like the ab machine for 2 minutes and say, wow, time to go home. But now since I actually have not a strict, but somewhat of a lifting routine now. Also, this rain noise sounds wonderful right now. I love the sound of rain hitting just windows. I don't know, I think actually my favorite thing is I love listening to rain when it falls on the tent, even though I know the next morning up I'm probably going to be miserable because I'm going to be cold and wet in the tent, but that sound cannot be beat. But again, I know I went on another tangent again, but they copied one of them copied my routine, and then they texted me, I think, yesterday saying that they can't move their arms fully because of how sore they are, and I felt bad because I should have let them kind of go at their own pace and ease into it. And I think that's kind of one issue too, where like, it's really difficult to give advice for lifting or just fitness in general because you have so many people in different spots of their life where you have some people that are completely new and beginning the journey. You have some people in the middle part, and you have some people who have been very experienced, but they can still also take a little bit of advice here and there too. And finding that balance of giving good advice that applies to everybody is, I think it's almost impossible for lifting because you can't tell somebody who's just started lifting to go train to failure because what do you think then? How do they know? They don't and the thing is, if their body is not used to lifting, going to failure might actually injure them because they probably don't know how to keep their proper form when they are reaching failure. They might not even know what failure is, which sounds funny to put it that way, but I don't know what training to failure was for the longest time. I still don't even know, to be honest. I'm still experimenting, and I've been on this journey for 10 months. If I guess I were to give it real time, maybe I'd consider it 9 months, because May, I basically didn't do anything. I think I went to the gym once in May. I could actually probably go look back at my little gym login, check-in history, and see what the actual number is. Oh wow, I actually got the light this time. Oops. I had to brake a little bit harder than I wanted to. But today on the agenda, definitely going to be some hack squats. Why are these guys going so slow? Come on. But once again, the agenda for legs, calves are going to be hit first because they don't interfere with my other lifts, and just because I want to get it out of the way. I think calves and abs and maybe forearms on one day are going to be my newest additions to some of the days, where I'm going to do them first so I can get them out of the way so I don't have to like think about it or worry about it at the end of the lift. But today, calves to maybe 2 to 4 sets. And the thing is, at first I thought maybe 2 sets is a little bit too low, but they feel pretty exhausted after I do 2 hard working sets of calves. And I'm starting to think, like, I'm formulating a little bit where I'm thinking, is it because I do a lot of my main go-to cardio, and I say main even it's literally the only cardio I've done for the past month and a half, I think, has been incline walking. I put that bad boy onto 15 degrees of incline, mainly because that's the highest it goes for a lot of the machines, unless it's like the incline trainer walking machines or running machines, whatever I want to call them. And then I put that bad boy up to 3.4 miles per hour because I found 3 to be a little bit slow, 4 to be a little bit fast, 3.5 to be a little bit fast. So what did I do? I put that sucker down to 3.4 miles per hour, and it's been doing me wonders for the past 3 months? Actually, when did I start adding cardio back in? Maybe it was like 2-3 months ago then. And I've been really liking it. Like for 30 minutes of that, I feel like I'm sufficiently worked. And I do feel a lot of, not calf exhaustion, maybe mild fatigue. So I'm like, could the incline walking be beneficial to my calf workout? And maybe in a way reduce the amount of sets I have to do for calves? Maybe. Again, I don't have any scientific backing or reasoning or evidence to back that up, but you know, a little bit of bro science and bro anecdotal evidence sometimes doesn't do that much harm. So calves, RDLs. Problem with the Silver Gym is they don't have a Smith machine that goes down low, like to the point where you can reach your shins. So I'm gonna have to get a little bit intuitive to see what I want to do with RDLs today. Maybe it's back to the barbell RDLs, which nothing wrong with them. I'm just not the biggest fan of them, if I'm being honest. I just feel more lower back glute activation when I do barbell RDLs versus Smith machine RDLs, because Smith is a lot more stabilized. So I feel maybe I just could have dropped the weight on barbell RDLs then. But at the same time, then I feel like I have to do way too many reps to actually feel like exhaustion. But again, we're going to get a little bit intuitive. Maybe I'll do a cable variation, because I think they have a cable variation that I can use up here with like a raised platform. But I might be wrong too. Then seated leg curls, probably for 2, maybe 3 sets. Lying leg curls for maybe 1 to 2 sets, usually of the single leg variation. But I'm thinking now too, what if I just do 2 sets of RDLs, 3 sets of seated leg curls? Nah, I think I still want to do 2-2 for a total of 6 sets. Unless I'm feeling sufficiently pumped and activated after 5. And then quads, oh boy, do I love quads. On quads, I think I want to hit 2 sets of the hack squat, 2 sets of sissy squats on the Smith machine, and then 2 sets of leg extensions, with 1 being both leg and 1 being 1 leg at a time. Did I say that right? Yeah. I think that's going to be it for today. So you'll probably, I usually don't like recording my calf sets because, I mean, it's just doing calves. I'm just sitting there on the machine going, like, just raising my legs up and down. So I think you guys see me on my first working set of RDLs and whatever creative way that I decide to do them with. The world's my oyster, right? Dumbbells, barbells, Smith machine, but you can't do Smith machine here. I'll let this guy cross. That was a really awkward encounter, if I'm being honest right now. But RDLs, here I come. Oh my God. Experimental leg day has been accomplished. We had some pros, we had some cons. Pros being, I really like the quad exercise at the Silver Gym right now. I might even say I am a very big fan of the quad section stimulus that I can get at the Silver Gym at the time being. Reasons being, they have they have 4 leg extension machines. So I never have to like wait. And the funny thing too is like at the other gym, yes, I would have to wait for the leg extension to open up because there's only 2 of them, and then one of them was weird and nobody liked, including me, because it didn't feel balanced, if that makes sense. Like when you put your foot on it and then you extend your leg out, right? It wasn't straight. Like I'm pretty sure there was a lot more emphasis on your right leg than in your left leg. And I just didn't like it. So which meant there was only 1 leg extension machine at the green machine, or at the green gym, which ended up being that it was always being in use. And when I was using it, I felt like I had like what's it called, like imposter syndrome, where I was like, oh, what if other people need to use it, but I need to do my sets too right now. So I always felt like kind of rushed, and I always felt like people eyeballing me because I was doing the same to other people, where I was like, oh, when's the leg extension machine gonna open up? But then here they got 4 of those bad boys. On top of that, they have a lot of leg presses, which, I don't know, leg press are just not in the agenda for the time being. I just never liked the leg press that much compared to all the other quad exercises. Like if I were to rank them right now, I would put leg press at the bottom tier of quad oriented exercises. And then thing is, I just don't like leg press that much, but I still equally love barbell squat, hack squat, Smith machine squat, sissy squat. Technically all squat variations I am a big fan of. And even there's another machine at the gym today where I warmed up on because I thought somebody was using the hack squat machine. But even that one, I don't know what it's called. I know there's something called a pendulum squat, but this doesn't have like the full pendulum arc to it, if that makes sense. Like, you know, like if you look at a picture, you'll probably understand what I'm saying. But this one's more a little bit up and down, but I can get really deep into it too, which I really like. So that might start showing up in the agenda as well. I just don't know what to call it. But, oh man, there was one slight con that I realized about the safety-less hack squat, was that if you are training to failure, it's a lot more terrifying, because I completely forgot that the safety bar is there so I don't get squished underneath the weight. So on today's hack squat adventure, on like rep 7 or 8, especially on the first set where I felt my legs starting to give out, I was like, oh wait, what happens if I fail the rep? So luckily I didn't fail the rep, and on the last one too, I did like a cheat rep where like I kind of planted my foot farther up so I can activate. I don't know if it actually activates the hamstrings too, but it wasn't so quad isolated so that I can actually muster the strength to actually make it back up and not get squished. So I think today, since I'm a little bit too gassed, I didn't test it out. But I think the next time I do a leg day, or even next time I even just do any other body part and my legs aren't sore, I'm going to go on the hack squat with no weight, and I'm going to see what it's like to fail a rep, and then see if I can actually just drop the weight and crawl out at the bottom, or if I actually need to be a little bit more cautious and maybe even ask for a spot, or just not bring it to failure on that. Because again, it's a little bit pros and cons. On the other one, I can't get as deep, but if I fail, I'm safe. But on this one, I can get super deep as I want to actually, and almost isolate the quads in like completely. If I were to do like a, I know I use the word sissy a lot, but I just really like that squat variant just because it feels so intense on that certain muscle group, which is the quads. If I had like a word counter for like how many times I said quads and sissies just today, it would probably not be looking too good for me right now, if I'm being honest. But yeah, another thing that was a little bit alarming is I gotta replay the video back and see if I actually hear it, but I don't have bad knees. Like, they pop a lot and they make a lot of noise, but I don't have any knee pain. I never had any knee pain. So I would always Google my symptoms. They just said, maybe you just have gas built up in your joints. And they said it's not really an issue. Like, if it starts hurting, then it's an issue, but it's never hurt. And especially on like the first set of, working set hack squats that I did, I definitely felt them pop on like the later reps where I got like deeper and deeper. So maybe I need to kind of brace my quads more, but less strain on my knees. But again, with learning experience, today wasn't exactly like pushing it to the limit day either, because I didn't want to go like, do a working weight that I used to do on another machine and do it on a different machine and then realize, oh, I actually can't do this working weight, and then collapse and get hurt. Because the last thing I want to do right now while in my little workout journey is get hurt. Because if I get hurt, that means I can't work out. And if I can't work out, that means no gains are to be had. So I definitely feel like the legs have been hit sufficiently, but it could have been better though. For example, when I was talking about pros and cons, that's the pros and cons for the quads. Like, there's a lot of machine variety, which I really like. So I feel like in terms of quads, a silver machine or silver gym is the way to go. But now let's talk about the hamstrings, maybe even the calves too. I didn't record my calf set, but I do not like the calf machine at this gym. It's the same seated variant that's at the green gym, but the pads on it are like really puffy and they roll around a lot, so your legs are not as planted as versus like a more sturdy foam. And I just didn't like it. Like, I felt like my legs kept like slipping and sliding, like, when like the thigh rest is on your, like, on the calf thing, right? It was a slipping and sliding, and I was not the biggest fan of it. So this is where I'm like a little bit conflicted, where I'm just like, do I need to split up my hamstring and quads per gym? Which, could work. I currently do have 2 gym memberships, but is that really efficient? Is that really worth it to separate my legs for a quad only and a hamstring only day? Because why not just hit them both at the same time? So should I have days where if I'm a little bit more hamstring oriented feeling, I go to the green gym, and if I'm being a little bit more quad oriented, I go to the silver gym and then kind of forsake the other muscle group? I don't know. It's a thought to be had at the time being, because as I said, the hamstring machines at this gym I was not the biggest fan of, other than the cable RDLs. I actually really like those. Actually, that first exercise that I did today was on this like step up stool cables, and then I thought, hey, what if I could do an RDL on this, because I don't know, it kind of looks like it was set up that way. And lo and behold, I look at the little image diagram and they have somebody doing RDL on the image diagram. So I tried it out and I actually really liked it, which I'm not 100% sure if this is supposed to be the case, but I definitely felt a lot more hamstring isolation in the exercise versus when I do a barbell RDL, I feel, low back, hamstring, and the glutes. And that's why I like the Smith machine, because I felt less glutes and I had more hamstring and still at that point lower back activation. But on this one, I almost felt 0 lower back, 0 glute, and only hamstring. So now I'm thinking, am I doing something bad then, where I'm going like, oh, maybe my glutes and lower back need a little bit work too? But if I'm doing a hamstring oriented exercise, shouldn't I be focusing on the hamstrings? Or should I still be adding in the glutes and the other things so they still at least get a little bit of work in versus having no work done? So again, pros and cons. I'm going to ponder about it, think about it, and especially I'm going to see how I feel tomorrow and the day after that, and see how sore I am, what the recovery's like, and see what I need to do to tinker with it. But for now, I kind of want to keep the cable RDLs because they're kind of fun. Like, you're on a little elevated platform, and it kind of feels like if you fail the rep, you're going to get launched off like a cannonball. But they felt nice though. They did feel nice. The setup is a little weird because you gotta put the platform up, you gotta grab your little handles and then yank it back up with you. And I think even though I got way less grip fatigue versus other RDL variants, for example, like barbell RDL always gives me the worst amount of grip fatigue, this still the grip was starting to wane a little bit towards the end. So I think lifting straps are definitely going to be at least a must on RDLs for me for the time being. Could I train grip strength? Yeah, but I heard, even with lifting straps, it's not like you're completely ignoring your grip. It's not like you're loosey-goosing it. Loosey-goosing it? Loose goose? I don't know what the terminology I was trying to think of right there, but you're not loose. You're still gripping tight. You're still holding on for dear life because those straps got to hold on to something, and that's still got to be your hands. So I don't even think I'm really foregoing that much grip strength activity if I were to use straps for the time being. But then, yeah, calves, hamstrings, cable RDL's good. Their hamstring machine for the seated leg curl, I wasn't the biggest fan of that. I'm used to the leg curl machine where, like, this one, like, you know, like the leg lock that you have to put on your thighs. Usually there's like a separate piece for that, but this one's like attached to the actual curling part, and then it like locks you into place. So I have to adjust the seat to make it so that it's actually up on my thighs and not on my shins. Because when I was first doing my little feeler sets, my warm-up sets on the machine, since I never seen a machine like this before, I didn't know how the hell to use it. So I kept tinkering around with it, and then it kept just feeling really weird because the mobility or the stability bar was on my shins, and it was not feeling very good for my hamstrings. It was not feeling good at all. And after like 5 minutes of tinkering around with it and finding the perfect setting, I think I put the seat position into 5, put the ankle position into the highest setting, and then after that I was actually able to have the stability bar actually be somewhat on my thighs versus being on my like lower part of the knee or my shins. And even then, the leg curls kind of felt weird because I like having that stability right on the thigh so that I can just, like, if this was my leg, it can just keep doing this, right? But since it's like up here, it felt like, it felt weird. Like, that's all I wanted. It felt weird. I didn't like it. And I do like doing this thing where, technically, yes, I did watch it in a Sam Sulik video, where if I'm doing my hamstring curls, I like to lean back initially, but towards the later reps, towards the set, or towards the end of the set, I like to lean forward and start really just pumping them out and just really forcing the last reps through safely, because, you know, I don't want to tear anything or injure myself. And then you get this really, really sensational feeling in the hamstrings where, like, if you're leaning forward, since you are putting more stretch to the hamstring, when you go up, it almost feels like you're doing, like, you know, the dive, like the swimming divers do their pose, and they have like their arms tucked underneath their legs and they're like almost like a straight line. It feels like that. But I can't do it here because there's nothing to hold on to, so I just have to lean forward in my chair and do it, which it kind of worked, but then I felt like I was losing balance. And again, it's all these little things that are adding up where I'm just like, I don't like this leg curl machine at the Silver Gym, which is a tragedy because now again I have the dilemma where I go, do I really have to split up my workout between the Green Gym and the Silver Gym when I could just preferably just have one gym membership? I don't know. I do not know. That being said, though, after all the complaints and everything, I still feel like I got a pretty darn good leg workout in. Quads have definitely been hit. 6 sets of quads, 6 sets of hamstrings. Today I actually did 4 sets of calves because I did 2 sets both legs, 2 sets single leg. But again, they didn't feel that good. Like the other leg day that I had at the Green Gym, I did 2 sets of calves and they felt annihilated. They felt demolished. I missed my leg. Like, again, they felt sufficiently hit. But today, after even 4 sets, and this is what I mean by quality sets, where like last time I did 2 very high quality sets of calves and they felt amazing. They felt hit. They felt, as I said, annihilated. But today I did 4 sets of calves and they don't even feel like I did a calf workout today. Like, I feel like I got more fatigue from my cardio of doing incline walking for 30 minutes than I did of the 4 sets of calf raises that I did. So does that mean, again, do I have to split up calves and hamstrings into one day? I mean, you know, I know I'm just gonna talk about it, but very randomly, I don't really know what happens. I think I have like mild brain damage at this point, but because I read an article saying some people that go through like a very traumatic experience or, you know, literally have brain damage will adopt a random accent at points, which if I had an Asian accent, more particularly a Korean accent, I can understand it because I speak Korean, so, you know, I might get, you know, the phonetics mixed up a bit with the pronunciation of how Koreans do not have a B, P, V. They just have one that sounds very similar to all 3 of them, and like R's and L's. But sometimes, very randomly, I get an English accent, which sometimes it could be from Australia, sometimes it could be from England, sometimes it could be from Ireland. or even Scotland. But I don't know where it comes from, because it's not like I'm out here practicing these accents. I just might happen to watch some videos that have an accent. But again, I don't know why it just slips out occasionally, because if I did that on purpose, I would own up to it and be like, hey guys, I did a funny accent, right? But it just slipped out. Was I British in my past life? I don't know. I really don't know. So you might be thinking too, how are we talking about a leg day and your pros and cons about hamstring and quads at the Silver Gym, and now we're talking about accents? I don't know. This is my video. These are my sick and twisted thoughts that you guys have to listen to, including myself. But on that note, I'm still a little bit a ways from home, but I feel like I said what I needed to say today. So, legs have been hit, pros and cons have been assessed. Tomorrow is chest, and I think I'm gonna go to the Silver Gym. This might be a Silver Gym week. I'm gonna give it a trial run and see how I feel about the Silver Gym for all parts of the body. So far we've done back, arms, and legs, and every single day has been pretty good. Maybe arms, I might prefer the Green Gym a little bit more, so let's see what happens. Maybe it might be a 2-and-2 thing, where I go 2 days to the Silver Gym, 2 days to the Green Gym, depending on what I like. But they got incline Smith here, or not incline Smith, they have Smith machines here, and I can get a bench and make an incline. So I think I'm gonna try out chest tomorrow, and then see how the rest of the week and split will go, depending on which gyms I attend, which exercises I do, what my recovery is like. And yeah, I'll probably see you guys tomorrow. Also, my good friend, my dear old pal, my brother from another brother, named at John.Plays, JOHNDOTPLAYS, but it's also his YouTube name is just John Lee, has started uploading workout videos like me. And he tagged me in his description, so I think I'll do the same as well. So to whoever listening, including myself, maybe even John, maybe even David, maybe even Osprey if they're still sticking around, I want to wish you guys a very merry day, and whoever might be listening, I hope you have a wonderful day as well.